Hello everyone, welcome back to the power of listening. Till now, we heard about Hem and Haw feeling bad on losing the cheese from Cheese Station C. Meanwhile, they were also wondering, where did Sniff and Scurry go? In today's audiopod, we are going to find out where is Sniff and Scurry and what they are doing. So without any delay, let's get started. Finally, Haw opened his eyes, looked around and said, "By the way, where are Sniff and Scurry? Do you think they know something we don't?" Hem scoffed. What would they know? Hem continued, "They are just mice. They just respond to what happens. We are little people. We are smarter than mice. We should be able to figure this out." "I know we are smarter," Haw said, "but we don't seem to be acting smarter at the moment. Things are changing around here, Hem. Maybe we need to change and do things differently." "Why should we change?" Hem asked. "We are little people. We are special. This sort of thing should not happen to us. Or if it does, we should at least get some benefits." "Why should we get benefits?" Haw asked. "Because we are entitled," Hem claimed. "Entitled to what?" Haw wanted to know. "We're entitled to our cheese." "Why?" Haw asked. "Because we didn't cause this problem," Hem said. "Somebody else did this, and we should get something out of it." Haw suggested, "Maybe we should simply stop analyzing the situation so much and go find some new cheese." "Oh no," Hem argued. "I'm going to get to the bottom of this." While Hem and Haw were still trying to decide what to do, Sniff and Scurry were already well on their way. They went further into the maze, up and down corridors, looking for cheese in every cheese station they could find. They didn't think of anything else but finding new cheese. They didn't find any for some time until they finally went into an area of the maze where they had never seen before. It was Cheese Station N. They squealed with delight. They found what they have been looking for, a great supply of new cheese. They could hardly believe their eyes. It was the biggest store of cheese the mice had ever seen. In the meantime, Hem and Haw were still back in Cheese Station C, evaluating their situation. They were now suffering from the effects of having no cheese. They were becoming frustrated and angry and were blaming each other for the situation they were in. Now and then, Haw thought about his mice friends, Sniff and Scurry, and wondered if they had found any cheese yet. He believed they might be having a hard time, as running through the maze usually involves some uncertainty. But he also knew that it was likely to only last for a while. Sometimes Haw would imagine Sniff and Scurry finding new cheese and enjoying it. He thought about how good it would be for him to be out on an adventure in the maze and to find fresh new cheese. He could almost taste it. The more clearly Haw saw the image of himself finding and enjoying the new cheese, the more he saw himself leaving Cheese Station C. "Let's go!" he exclaimed all of a sudden. "No," Hem quickly responded. "I like it here. It's comfortable. It's what I know. Besides, it's dangerous out there." "No, it isn't," Haw argued. "We have run through many parts of the maze before, and we can do it again." "I'm getting too old for that," Hem said. "And I'm afraid I'm not interested in getting lost and making a fool of myself." "Are you?" With that, Haw's fear of failing returned and his hope of finding new cheese faded. So every day the little people continued to do what they had done before. They went to Cheese Station C, found no cheese, and returned home, carrying their worries and frustrations with them. They tried to deny what was happening, but found it harder to get to sleep, had less energy the next day, and were becoming irritable. Their homes were not the nurturing places they were once. The little people had difficulty sleeping and were having nightmares about not finding any cheese. But Hem and Haw still returned to Cheese Station C every day and waited there. Hem said, if we just work harder, we'll find that nothing has really changed that much. The cheese is probably nearby. Maybe they just hid it behind the wall. The next day, Hem and Haw returned with tools. Hem held the chisel while Haw banged on the hammer until they made a hole in the wall of the Cheese Station C. They peered inside but found no cheese. They were disappointed but believed they could solve the problem. So they started earlier, stayed longer, and worked harder. But after a while, all they had was a large hole in the wall. Haw was beginning to realize the difference between activity and productivity. Maybe we should just sit here and see what happens, Hem said. Sooner or later, they have to put the cheese back. Haw wanted to believe that, so he began to see that the longer they stayed in their cheeseless situation, the worse off they would be. Haw knew they were losing their edge. Finally, one day, Haw began laughing at himself. Haw, look at us. We keep doing the same things over and over again and wonder why things don't get better. If this wasn't so ridiculous, it would be even funnier. Haw did not like the idea of having to run through the maze again because he knew he would get lost and have no idea where he would find any cheese. But he had to laugh at his folly when he saw what his fear was doing to him. He started looking for his running shoes. He asked him, "Where did we put our running shoes?" It took a long time to find them because they had put everything away when they found their cheese at the Cheese Station C, thinking they wouldn't be needing them anymore. As Hem saw his friend getting into his running gear, he said, "You are not really going out into the maze again, are you? Why don't you just wait here with me until they put the cheese back?" "Because you just don't get it," Haw said. "I didn't want to see it either, but now I realize they are never going to put yesterday's cheese back. It's time to find new cheese." Hem argued, "But what if there is no cheese out there? Or even if there is, what if you don't find it?" "I don't know," Haw said. He had asked himself those same questions too many times and felt the fears again that kept him where he was. He asked himself, "Where am I more likely to find cheese? Here or in the maze?" He painted a picture in his mind. He saw himself venturing out into the maze with a smile on his face. While this picture surprised him, it made him feel good. He saw himself getting lost now and then in the maze, but felt confident he would eventually find new cheese out there and all the good things that came with it. He gathered his courage. Then he used his imagination to paint the most believable picture he could, with the most realistic details of him finding and enjoying the taste of new cheese. He saw himself eating Swiss cheese with holes in it, bright orange cheddar, and American cheeses, Italian mozzarella, and wonderfully soft French camembert cheese. And then he heard Hem say something and realized they were still at Cheese Station C. Haw said, "Sometimes, Hem, things change and they are never the same again. This looks like one of those times. That's life. Life moves on, and so should we." Haw looked at his emaciated companion and tried to talk sense to him, but Ham's fear had turned into anger and he wouldn't listen. Haw didn't mean to be rude to his friend, but he had to laugh at how silly they both looked. As Haw prepared to leave, he started to feel more alive, knowing that he was finally able to laugh at himself, let go, and move on. Haw laughed and announced, "It's mate's time." Ham didn't laugh and he didn't respond. Haw picked up a small sharp rock and wrote a serious thought on the wall for Ham to think about it. As was his custom, Haw even drew a picture of cheese around it, hoping it would help Ham to smile, lighten up, and go after the new cheese. But Ham didn't want to say it. Haw wrote, "If you do not change, you can become extinct." I repeat this line again. If you do not change, you can become extinct. Just take a moment for yourself and think on this topic. If you do not change, you can become extinct. What does it try to say? And if you find something meaningful, please write down in the comments below. So guys, are you enjoying the story of Who Moved My Cheese? If you are, let me know in the comments below. I'll be waiting for your positive comments. Thank you so much for today. We'll discuss the next part in the next audiopod. Bye-bye.